everybody, it's your boy Trey, and today is March 8th, 2024. And around 12 a.m. this morning, I had an emergency call to go to the hospital, and it was one of the worst feeling and experience that I've ever had in my entire life. And during my recovery, and yes, I remember going to the washroom and coming back into my bed, and I went to the washroom for the second time, and I was like, something doesn't feel right. At this point in time, I had the catheter still in, and I remember going in the washroom and this sharp pain just hit. And I was like, something ain't right. And I'm fighting, trying to get out of the bathroom to come inside the bedroom, to just take it easy, because now I'm at my worried stage now. And I had this noise. It's almost like when you're letting the air out of a balloon. Now, I remember calling the nurse on that day, and he was like, oh, your catheter is still attached. It's a balloon that they insert inside you. It's like a sinker or something like that keeps it in you. And the only way it comes out if someone pulls it out. But I'm trying to tell him, no, this catheter is out. It's deflating and it hurts. He did not listen. And I came to the bedroom, and next thing I noticed, I'm like, I'm walking around, they're changing shifts, it's around 7 something, and I noticed that there's blood going in my catheter bag, and I was like, this ain't normal. So I showed the nurse them. It was like, okay, a little bit of blood we don't worry about, but if it continue going on like this is where it gets concerning. It gets like this. They use it Halloween red, like blood red. Then it's more concerning. But because it was like this light shade of red, and it was showing in my urine, it was like almost that it's natural. So anyway, time went by, and it was like 11 something, and I was like, I finally had to go. I used the washroom to take a shit, because all day they were giving me this pack-like thing to help me poo, so I can be on a normal path, because I was not using the washroom on a regular after surgery. So they were like, we have to make you pass and stuff like that. So I finally got the opportunity to pass, but that was just not the opportunity to pass. I felt like it was like a death sentence for me, because every time I go to use the washroom, it's almost like a traumatizing me, because it's like I go through so much just to, not urine, but to have a bowel movement. I go through so much, and the stitches are still in the back part of my testicle area, so it hurts, it's tender, so I'm like very cautious. So if I don't have to urgently go, I won't go. And it was painful. So anyway, time went by, and now getting back to my normal feeling. I feel alert, I feel good. Catheter, I'm looking at the bag, I'm still pissing blood, but they say it's normal, so I'm like, okay. And I kept watching, so I was like, you know what, to avoid walking so much, because I had a visitor that came and saw me, and I was like, you know what, and to avoid walking so much, let me just use the wheelchair that they brought up here from the day I came in here. Now, remember, yesterday made 1 week that I've been in Toronto recovering, so it was almost like, okay, what happens now? And I sat around, and I actually felt good to be in a wheelchair, because it was like a lot of ease off the surgical area. So I was like, okay, and then, my pride wouldn't allow me to use the wheelchair. So that was the whole thing about it too. And yeah, so as time went by, it's getting now after 10 and 11 o'clock, and I finally had to take a shit again. I was like, great, it's all coming out. I'm doing it on my own. I don't need to take the peg leg anymore. Okay, perfect. I'm almost on the edge of being discharged, so I can go back home to my normal life where, it's just me, myself, and I, and just do whatever. And it did not go so. I remember being on the phone with my family member around 10. And I was like, okay, I'm going to my bed and all that good stuff. I was like, well, I'm tired of sleeping, so I'm going to be here probably doing some editing and trying to get my videos and things so when I go home, everything will be fine. And that never went to plan. Got off the phone. So I got up off the phone, and it was now after 11 at night. And I was like, okay, gone in the washroom, go use the washroom, and I'm using the washroom, and it feels like I'm giving birth. And I was like, hell no. Something ain't right with this catheter. It's coming out. It's falling out. All type of shit was going on. So I'm in the bathroom, and I'm pulling the bell for the emergency. And here comes the nurses. Like 3 of them come running in there. Trey, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? I said, no, something is wrong. So they had to call the head nurse, what has more, can do more than they can. And he came in there and he was like, no, it's fine. The catheter is up there with a balloon and it has like a sinker on it and I'm trying to tell him, listen, you don't understand. I'm feeling something else. He didn't understand. So anyway, I listened to him. I believe him because he's medical help. I'm taking it that he knows more than I know, despite of how I'm feeling in the pain and different stuff like that. So listened to him, and I came in the room, and now it's 11 o'clock. The late shift now is leaving, gone, and there's now a new shift now. So I'm inside here, and I'm just sharp pain just hit me. It's almost like, when you're giving birth and the baby hit the pelvis, and now it's time to push because the contractions are killing. This is how I was in pain. It literally felt like I was giving birth. But the only difference was I was giving birth to a balloon that was connected to my inside that hurt like hell. So now I'm sitting here, not sitting, I was actually standing up in the corner of my room. Let's show you exactly where. Over there. So I'm standing over there and I'm looking through the window because the wheelchair was over there, and I am pain. So I pressed the emergency thing that is actually up there, that is connected to the bed. So I pressed the button and then the nurses then walk in here, and this is time I'm bawling, I'm crying. Something is wrong. But because they're not medically, I don't know how to explain it, to remove a catheter or to know the next step, because the doctors, this is almost midnight here. Actually, it's over midnight, so it's almost like, what happens now? And we're going through all this pain and different stuff like that. So now I'm sitting here and we're like, okay, if it gets really bad, Trey, we have to call the paramedics for you. We're gonna have to get you to another hospital because right now you're just in a recovery place and not all the medical things that are needed to take care of me are in this building. So I'm like, what's going on with me? Am I gonna die? Am I think so? At this point in time, I'm just start calling my mom, but like I tell you, it's late at night, so everybody pass out sleeping or some sort. So my mom never answer, and I'm calling other family members. I'm calling Michelle. I'm calling everybody, and nobody answer. The only person answer was my son at 12 something at night. So my son answered the phone, and I'm like, Taiwan, because my son staying with Michelle, and I said, Taiwan. He said, hello. I said, Taiwan, please go knock on Michelle's room, wake up Michelle, tell Michelle, please answer her phone. Somebody answer the phone. Somebody called. Something is wrong, and I'm crying, and he's trying to make out what I'm saying, and he's like, what happened? I said, Taiwan, just get up, go. So at this point in time, the nurse took the phone from me and started to speak to them. At this point in time, I'm in the background and I'm yelling because, like I say, it's like contractions. It's like contractions. Like I felt like I was giving birth and I was having miscarriage, and the catheter just needed to be out. I needed it out of me. The catheter is the most painfulest thing I ever experienced in my life. And having this catheter in for like over 3 weeks after surgery, I just wanted it out. And they could not take it out. So after a while, finally they talked to Michelle, they talked to my family member, everybody started to call back and let them know, hey, everybody go to Mount Sinai, I think I'm saying the hospital right. That's the only hospital that might have a doctor or some practitioner that are specialized in trans men that did bottom surgeries. Biggest Canada is, biggest Ontario is, and not that much persons. So I'm like, there's not that much persons in Ontario that does phalloplasty. What the? So I'm now at 10. So you're telling me I got 5.5 hours to go all the way to Montreal, to the only place in Quebec or Ontario itself that does that deals with trans males or transgenders or anyone that did a phalloplasty. It is rare that persons or trans man does phalloplasty because of the risk and the complications and the side effects and yes, all the good stuff what I'm dealing with to this very day. And I'm listening to the doctors, the pharmacists, the PMH drivers, the ambulance drivers, the recovery home, everywhere I go. Everybody was like, oh my God, I've never met a person like you. I'm like, we never dealt with someone in so much years that did a bottom surgery in the LGBT as in trans man. And I'm like, what? Then I'm hearing this doctor say you're breaking history all over again. And the doctor walked inside there in Mount Sinai. He looked at me and he was like, oh my God, you know, all my medical years I wanted to come across a trans male that did bottom surgery. And that time I'm like, but let me back it up. I'm now in the emergency room of Mount Sinai. I'm massively in pain. I'm crying, I'm screaming, I'm shaking, and I'm looking around. I'm just waiting for my family member to come or whatever. And I'm looking around. I'm now at a panic stage. My pressure went to the roof. I'm thinking I'm at 190 something, almost 200 with my pressure. And they're trying to calm me down. They give me some medication. I can't remember the medication right now, but they put it in my IV and one in my hand. So now it's almost like, I can't remember the name of it, but I will document that once I do, because I have the photos and all that. But it was like this medication that they put in my IV and then they injected in my vein. It was so much. So it's almost like, okay, I'm now getting drowsy. I'm drowsy. And I remember the nurse just like, it's all right, Trey, you can go to sleep. Just take some rest. It's going to take away your pain. And I'm looking around at my family and I'm looking around, and as everyone talked to me, I think Michelle was Michelle was there, and I'm looking around, the next thing you know, I'm gone. Don't know what happened, but I know I went to sleep because the pain was so drastic. And I remember laying there and so much pain, and their doctors were coming in and out, so I was like in and out of drowsiness, looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm in a new hospital. I just needed to know what to do next. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what is going to happen, but just stay calm. And I keep looking at the time on the wall, and I notice it's getting later and later. It's now 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going nowhere. Am I staying here? What's happening to me? All I know, they keep giving me medication to avoid the pain from going down and stuff like that. And finally, a doctor comes in that specializes in gays. But not only specialize in gay people or trans surgeries, but they only specialize in male to female. As in every other hospital, they specialize in male to female. So I'm an experiment. I call myself an experiment to Ontario. And I'm educating a lot of the medical team. No matter where I go, they're excited to hear my story. They want to hear my story. They want to know what I'm going through, because it's been years till that they actually had somebody that actually did a follow-plasty, because they say a lot of people want the surgery but afraid to do the surgery because of surgical area, donor area, my legs. I will show you guys that. I'm actually naked now because I can't. But yeah, a lot of people are afraid of complications and risk and all these different things, which I knew it was possible that I would have faced, but so much things are going wrong at once. But it was never pertaining to the surgery itself. It was either the catheter, one big factor in my life, because it was irritating and annoying to have a catheter installed in me. So that was, one of the main things that really threw me off. And the pain when I don't take my meds on time, little things like that. But the surgery itself never failed me. So that I was okay with, the little complications and things. But the little complications and things I faced were, listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. It was not a ball walk in the park. It was not just a walk in the park. It was a lot. And yeah, anyway, backtrack. So I'm now at Mount Sinai, and the doctor walked in there, and they were like, oh my God, it's finally getting an opportunity to meet someone like you after being a doctor for so much years and all these other good stuff. And they look at me, and it was like, congratulations, I'm so excited for you. And I'm sitting there like, what happening to me next? So he's like, we're gonna have to admit you to this hospital. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to another hospital and all these different stuff. But he was like, before we make that decision, we're waiting for your CT scan or something like that to come through, because I went through this big ass machine. It was almost like a tunnel, and it just scans my whole body and checks for infections, fluids, and all these other stuff to make sure everything is good of the surgical area and stuff like that. Anyway, we did all of that, and then going back to the emergency room where I had this nice room, I'm sitting inside just, drowsing in and out because like morphine, that's it. They give me morphine. See, I told you I was going to get the word for you guys. They were just drugging me up on morphine. So I'm now all over the place like this. Because remember, they never dealt with someone like me in such a long time. So it's almost like I'm educating them. So the more I talk, they'd be like, okay, I'm learning, and they're taking notes, and they're like, okay, just in case they have someone that come through, like this again, they know how to deal with it and stuff like that. And anyway, I'm supposed to document all of these things, but the pain wouldn't allow me. But it's great because I can talk about it, and you get to see my actions. You get to see how I, respond to certain things and stuff like that. Even now, I still have some of the morphine that I feel like, because when I got here around 12, 1 o'clock, when I got back here where I was recovering, um, I was still drowsy. I went to sleep and I woke up like after 10 at night, and I'm like, oh my God, I sleep the whole day away, and it was a good feeling. I got relaxed and different stuff like that. And anyway, backtrack all of that. But yeah, so I left out of there. They discharged me, and they were like, in the scan, we see that you have like a little pocket of fluid, which is normal to the surgical area, which I knew about because I remember my surgeon telling me that it's like a fatty tissue just trying to get adjusted to the new area. It would happen. So I knew about that little fluid pocket space, which was like fluid of fat or something like that, that is now adjusting to the phallus in my skin, and yeah, medical terms. So I was aware of that. So my only thing was, okay, that is normal. My surgeon says normal. So we're now on the phone talking to my surgeon and giving the information and stuff like that, which I have my appointment to go to in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere around there. So that would be my 6 weeks checkup. But yeah, so now I'm discharged, and I'm now putting on my clothes to now go to the car to head back to my recovery home at Sheridan. And I'm mind blown because I'm now feeling better and everything. Yes, but before all of that, the catheter did deflated. So the catheter had deflated inside me while it was starting to go down from before the ambulance had called, but no one knew. Like I told you, I kept hearing this sound like air coming out of a balloon. So I knew something was wrong, but they wouldn't know because they're not feeling what I'm feeling. So yeah, I went through that, and times I got in the hospital at Mount Sinai Hospital, and the doctor, after he was so fantasized that a trans man with bottom surgery actually come through, and it's not a male to female, it's actually female to male with bottom surgery. I blew his mind, and he was so eager to find out so much. And he was like, before I go into talking, let me just check the surgical area. So I opened up my leg, and he looked, and he was like, your catheter is out. It's like, my catheter is out. I'm looking there. I have the little balloon thing connected to the catheter, and I was like, thank you, Jesus, that this catheter is out. I wanted it out so bad. But nobody believed that something was wrong until the doctor finally looked and noticed that the catheter was deflated. So it started deflating in me. Now remember when I told you it was almost like a baby's hitting the pelvis when their mother about to give birth. Pregnant people that had kids will know that. I had a kid before, so I know that feeling. It was almost like he sunk inside the pelvis, and now the contractions is there, and it's time to push. This is what I was feeling. And all that time it was the balloon deflating, and the catheter were now being disconnected from my bladder. Oh my God. So yes, catheter had deflated inside of me. The doctor at Mount Sinai had discovered that the catheter was out, the balloon had deflated, and they don't know the cause of why it deflated, but it deflated. But God was working on my side because that bitch needed to get out of me. And it got out of me, and I was so happy that they never installed it back. because it was the most uncomfortable 3 months of my life with that catheter. And even though it was a blessing not having to get up to go piss, it also was a lot for me itself. Having to be with this catheter 24/7 was not easy, but I've learned a lot during my transition, and I'm excited to share my story with you guys and the medical team. So I'm educating a lot of people. From the ambulance drivers were like mind blown. They were mind blown. I was like, oh my God, I've never heard of a phalloplasty. And they were like, and I'm trying to explain to them in pain. And as they wait for me, they push me through. I got through quick. Like I was going like fast because the emergency was like at pace. So I educated them, I educated the doctors there, I educated them, the nurse staff in there, because they're only specialized in vaginal plasty surgery, which is male to female gender surgery. It's very rare that they come across a female to male gender surgery. And they're like, you're breaking history all over again. I was like, oh my gosh. So that was my trauma of going through my catheter, and that happened all yesterday. That leads it up to today, so that was actually March 7th. That made 1 week, and that catheter carried me through a whole maternity all over again. But yes, I was rushed to Mount Sinai around 12 something on the 7th of March, and I was discharged on the 8th. I spent overnight in the Merge, and I'm back here now, and I just woke up around 10 something, spoke to my mom, and I was like, you know what, I want to update you guys on my challenge, and because I wasn't doing a lot of recording because of medication and feeling drowsy all the time. So yeah, why not hit you guys with what I'm actually going through every day? I wanted to just document and keep you guys update on everything. And this is not to scare you guys, it's just to tell you the possible things that you can go through as in a trans guy doing phalloplasty and different stuff like that. So it's the educational part of it, to know that there's so much persons even in the medical team that are not aware of it. And if anything urgently was to happen, I have to fly to Montreal or to the US to get deal with, because there's a lot that are not known for years. So there's a lot of transgenders that want to do the surgery, but in fear because they never met someone that went through such big surgery and never had no one to ask the questions to. So I hope that I can. So hopefully I can break the grounds and crack some soil and be able to answer a lot of you guys' questions on my trans life and my second chapter, phase 2 of my phalloplasty, that I can give you guys a lot of what I went through. So yes, this is my dramatic moment of having a catheter for so long. But yes, I will keep you guys posted. Thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Journey towards Trey. This is my life story as a trans man, and I want to walk you guys through it. I want to walk you guys through every step of this. I want to be able to walk you guys through this journey with me, and hopefully I'll answer a lot of you guys' questions. And to my trans guys, don't second doubt it. You know, I've heard stories after stories of phalloplasties being made, and before the surgery date, they're also being canceled because of fear and different things like that. I'm not telling you you're not supposed to be afraid, because I was afraid as well. But what I'm trying to tell you is follow your heart, because if I can get through this despite of pain, complications that have nothing to do with my surgery, and minor situations that, hey, pain comes and go even on a normal day, you can do it as well. Don't be discouraged. My brothers, don't be discouraged. We are who we are. We're not different. We're special. We're unique. Sorry, that was my nurse. I'm on high watch because I'm special. But yes, like I was saying, we're special. You're unique. You know, we're different and every which way possibly. And I feel like we need to be understood and we can educate a lot of things, you know. So yes, I hope that my life story helps you guys answer a lot of your questions. And yeah, so if I can do it, you can do it. This is your boy Trey, and this is my life story, and I hope you guys love it. Stay tuned because I have a lot of things that I'm gonna show you guys throughout this. Remember, this is just phase 1 of 3 stages. Phalloplasty. It's my second chapter of being a trans man. Bottom surgery. Stay tuned. This is your boy. This is through all the pain and trauma, I'm still able to smile. Ain't God good?